What is going on? My name is Jared Haas, and welcome back to another edition of NASCAR Mailbox, answering your questions from this weekend after North Wilkesboro Speedway, the All-Star race. Let's dive into it. And now to kind of give more my thoughts on the return to NASCAR and North Wilkesboro Speedway. And I do want to give a shout out to Michael Brown because I share a lot of the same sentiments that he has. He says the problem isn't the short tracks, and the problem is these new cars. Yeah, there's a little bit of action, but for the most part, it's very boring. These cars are just boring to watch at every track. The trucks were great at this track, and they should have ran the Xfinity cars there as well. In the grander scheme of things, I'm really glad they raced at this great track. I don't care for wrecks, but we need to have some side-by-side racing because that's what makes short tracks so fun to watch. Unfortunately, they're not going to happen with these new cars. That would be great to trucks and Xfinity cars race there next year. I mean, again, I agree with the sentiment here. It was the car that's the issue. It's not the track. The truck racing produced, I would say, an arguably good race. Even though Kyle Larson dominated, it was the same faction of the Cup Series race. It was just kind of so hard to pass, and you saw that with Ty Gibbs moving Michael McDowell out of the way to make sure he kept his position because of how critical it was on the restarts. I mean, that's part of racing, is moving people out of the way, but it's also lap after lap after lap trying to battle and trying to move somebody and trying to get in position to make that pass. It's just unfortunate with these next-gen cars are not really compatible with these short tracks, especially with this wider tire that they have. It's just a formula not for success. North Wilkesboro needed to return on the schedule, and it was great to see a packed house. I'm all for that too, but the racing product kind of lacked, in a better word, for what it's able to produce. So I don't hate the race. I don't like the next-gen car for how it's been able to produce this type of racing. It's been a little bit more successful on the intermediate tracks, but these short tracks, they are not built for this. And now getting into the question from Napa Racing 927. They ask, can Rockingham return to NASCAR, more specifically the Cup Series, since they successfully revived North Wilkesboro? Why couldn't they return to the Rock? Now that's a very good question. Ironically though, with that package deal that got North Wilkesboro Speedway functioning again, Rockingham Speedway did get, in fact, a portion of that money. North Wilkesboro got $18 million. Rockingham got about $9 million. We saw repave of the track. There's still a lot of things that have to be settled, especially considering the past, what happened with Andy Hillenberg. If it dealt with some financial trouble early on, they were able to host a couple races. Not as big of attendance as it was in the heyday. About half where it was when I saw the last attendance for the inaugural event was 25,000. Looked a little bit less for the 2013 following race. And there's still events going on at Rockingham Speedway. It could be very possibly that Rockingham Speedway could get some dates. But again, what race dates are you going to take away for that? It's going to be interesting to see how this repave does. And I'm okay with the repave of this. You have North Wilkesboro being the original service, old service. Rockingham Speedway being a newer type of surface. So it could be potentially down the road a couple years. It's just got to be some things that are going to be sorted out. There was new management under Rockingham in 2018, I believe, that was able to facilitate that. But there's got to be a lot more bargaining and momentum for Rockingham Speedway to get back on the schedule. I wouldn't mind it. We'll have to see, like I said, if they can able to get that back. We got Milwaukee back. We got North Wilkesboro's back. There's a lot of things possible with that. And that will do it for NASCAR Mailbox. Until then, you can follow me on Twitter at RealJaredHaas, and you can see me at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I will be there this weekend. And as always, you can find out what happens next weekend on NASCAR Mailbox. Until then, as always, have a great race weekend.
Hey everyone, Zane Smith, driver number 38 Ford for Front Row Motorsports. Be sure to subscribe to Front Stretch on YouTube.